On 10 minutes to 9 a.m., and we are now looking at a local issue. We're talking about the Mayfair area, the Mayfair swimming pool, and how often have we not heard about public property, about property that is owned by the government or public works as such, not knowing what those properties are actually all about. And we see in many instances people taking advantage of this neglect in this particular aspect, and as a result, these properties get exploited by people. And this is the case with regards to the Mayfair swimming pool. And I've seen a tweet by Hassan Abdullahi Alim, who says that the Mayfair swimming pool and two of the public parks in the area have been sold to businessmen from East Africa, and greedy businessmen are charging Mayfair or changing Mayfair into ungovernable places, building flats with no rezoning approval. We joined on the line by Ward 58 Councillor Alex Christians. Alex, assalamu alaikum and welcome to the show.
Wa alaikum salam. Jazakallah Inayat for having me on your show, and assalamu alaikum to your listeners as well.
Right, Alex, let's talk about this development in Mayfair. And I know Mayfair for a long time, some very, very controversial issues. And now we're looking at this question surrounding the swimming pool and the parks. What is some of the background?
Inayat, first let me say the Facebook message is actually incorrect. I actually spoke to Hassan and he says he'll give me information. But as far as I know, as the councillor, it is incorrect information that he has put out. Little background, in 2018, the Somali Community Board made an application where they were going to go in partnership with the Sector 5 Forum, which is Maulana Abdullah Patel, to adopt the park. Now, adopt the park does not mean it's been sold to any individuals. It simply means there will be a partnership between the city and individual organizations. They went and made a presentation in 2019 and the partnership was signed. They've got the documentation. What the community board will be doing is fencing off the park, which was known as Condom Park, have it cleaned up and put in security. The park will be open from sunrise to sunset. Yes, it will be open from Fijr to Maghrib. Anybody will be able to access the park. There is no payment for the use of the park. The park will only be closed at night, so those unsavory characters that were in there that made it known as Condom Park will no longer be in there. The other park I assume he's talking about is Grosvenor Park. That the city had actually closed off, and Sultan Ba, who is assisting us there by locking it at Maghrib and opening it at Fijr as well. But obviously with COVID, sometimes the park was closed permanently according to COVID rules. It was not that of any of the organizations, but that of the lockdown rules. So those are the only two parks I'm aware of that have now been closed. If there's others, I'm open to having it investigated to see why it's being locked up. The swimming pool, in 2019, it was brought to my attention that vagrants have started stripping the swimming pool. Now, as you said, you know Mayfair very well. The swimming pool has not been operational from 2010, if I'm not mistaken. So it was way before my time. So when they started stripping it, I went in and had a look. We then had a cleanup of the pool and a public meeting. And this was already in 2019. At that public meeting, we had about 200 people attend. And what they said that is if the city cannot redo the park, which would cost approximately 5 million rand, the priorities were given that convert it into a school, make it into a recreation center. Another group said make it into a trade school, and the one group said make low-cost housing. So that's how the priority came out from the community. Over the last 2 years, the swimming pool was kept safe by Mayfair Academy, who during lockdown said we need to assistance from the city because with the lockdown rules, their premises is not big enough to comply with the lockdown regulations. They are looking after the swimming pool. It's not going to be turned into a swimming pool. Can they enter into a partnership with the city to utilize it until such time that the city goes to tender? So this is what had happened. They have a 1-year agreement with the city that they will renovate and keep the place safe at their own cost, during which time the city would then go and check with its departments whether any of the departments want to utilize it, and it will then go out to tender. So the information there is incorrect that these places have been sold, because it's not been sold. It's a partnership with the city and it still belongs to the city.
Alex, just looking at recreational areas and, just looking at Johannesburg, looking at the Mayfair area, and, it's obvious that communities require these recreational areas. And when one looks at, other cities around the country, the one that comes to mind is Cape Town, where I think in Greenpoint they've got this park as well. Families come. And when one looks at, how well it's maintained, people feel comfortable, people feel happy to come and in a safe environment for families as well. And this seems to be a problem, and it is found lacking, particularly in the Joburg area. We know Durban's got the beach area where people can walk, they can exercise, be out in the open. You've got these outside gyms and the like as well. Why do you think it's a problem here in Joburg? Is it purely because of criminal element? Is it because of vandalization and the like? And that is the reason why we seem to be battling to come up with something that is going to add value to communities.
Yeah, Inayat, the city parks, who are responsible for the safety of parks, have 25 security officers that have to look after all the parks in the city. These are the guys, they call them the rangers, and it's impossible for them to be all over the city. They basically go and douse out fires. So if you got an issue, you call them up, they will schedule in when they can come to that particular park to assist. The other issue we have predominantly in Ward 58 is the number of vagrants. So whenever the city does any initiative in the inner city, because we're just on the outskirts, those vagrants end up coming into our ward. And obviously our community loves feeding them, so they stay there because they find it a space that, you know what, I'll be getting something rather than going around looking for food the whole time. So that is one of the things we've said to our communities: please stop feeding the vagrants. In my term of office, that has been a major issue, and I must say I'm on the breach of finding a solution. The city and province have now found money where they will be building a shelter in our ward to accommodate these vagrants. So that is one of the things that we do.
Well, let's just see what materializes. But Alex, we say Jazakallah to you for your time and for coming on and joining us this morning on News and Views. We wish you all the best, and please stay safe. Allah keep you safe, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah inayat.
Councillor Alex Christians joining us this morning regarding the Mayfair situation at this point in time with regards to the swimming pool. I do have a request for du'as that has come through right now, and these du'as are requested for Muhammad Yusuf Wariyava, who is ill in hospital at this point in time, and we have been requested for dua, so we make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy on him, on his family. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant him complete shifa to his family, to him, and also return him to his family, inshallah, in good health. And that is a dua that was requested for Muhammad Yusuf Ariyawa. And also all those who are sick at this point in time, our duas are with you, our duas are with your families, our thoughts are with you. The time is just heading for 9 a.m. We come back. We're looking at the contribution of vets and how they can actually contribute or use their knowledge to combat COVID-19. We'll be talking with Dr. Ribone Morani, and later on in the program, we're also talking with Sanjay Kapoor, editor of Delhi-based Hard News magazine. And towards the end of the show, we will be looking at trade union Fidusa that is calling for a moratorium on any job losses or job retrenchments. But right now, it's just gone 9 a.m. We're waiting for the news. Stay with us.